Well, for our November UK EV public charging price guide, we have once again been travelling the country to see at first hand exactly what's happening and what's new. As always, we try out the chargers that we visit to rate the experience and discover any issues or problems before you do. We'll keep watching to learn where we've been, what we found, and the numerous changes to charging prices we discovered this month. There are many dramatic changes you really need to know. As always, please like and subscribe. This is Dave Takes It On, and I'm Dave. Well, first the good news, an additional 378 rapid and ultra-rapid EV chargers were installed and turned on in the UK in October, showing massive continued growth. Total is now 6,663 locations with 29,899 connectors for just 2 million EVs on the roads. That means EVs now have about 20 times as many places to charge out on the road at 50 kilowatt and above as petrol and diesel cars have. And that's just simply amazing, seeing that about half all EV drivers never use public chargers anyway. Who said the infrastructure's not there yet? Well, the main issue now is pricing, with far too many CPOs, that's charge point operators, still ripping us off. In petrol terms, with supermarkets selling petrol today at around £1.35 a litre, prices for the electricity to charge an EV using the same electricity from the same national grid range from 50p per litre equivalent right up to £1.95. And that top price is dearer than any of the motorway services we have in the UK, which is around £1.60, and petrol drivers avoid them like the plague. Why do EV drivers continue to use those extortionate charges? Well, let's name and shame. Extortion's the name of the game for the robber barons, the first section. Prices here are the petrol equivalent of £1.80 to £1.92 a litre. Why would anyone choose to go here? Starting with Shell Recharge, they already offered the joint highest pricing of any major CPO in the UK, but now they've just taken something away. 89 pence per kilowatt hour is clearly a ridiculous price, and previously the best offer was to use the app and get 10p off. By the way, to get the app you need to give them all your personal details, and I do mean all. But for BYD owners, they got a 24 pence discount. I say got because from the end of November, a few days from now, to the end of January, that's being removed. They hint that there's something bigger, better and more exciting on the way, so I guess we just have to wait. Avoid if possible, but BYD drivers, wait and see. Well, BP Pulse also charges 89 pence per kilowatt hour, but offers a membership for £7.85 a month. That drops it down to 69p. If this is your only option and you charge more than twice a month, membership is the way to go, but neither deserve any of your business. Well, InstaVolt follow very closely in their footprints with that same insane 89 pence, but at least they offer a no subscription off-peak rate. Charge between 8 at night and 7 in the morning, use the app, and that drops to 60p per kilowatt hour. There is a single exception at Bodmin in Cornwall that costs 70p at all times for contactless and 60p if using the app or RFID. Have a guess when most of InstaVolt charging sessions take place. But the worst by far of this bunch, the extortionate one, is Gridserve, which appears to have made changes that are designed to take in more than they give out. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. In August, our pricing video reported an average of 79 pence, with some prices higher. By October, that average had increased to a reported 85 pence, but 79 if you use the app. And now in November, that price is no longer an average, it's just fixed at 89 pence. Even the use the app and get 79p has gone from my app and from the locations we investigated. Well, it's a massive rise all on its own, but finally they've launched their membership. Well, talk about robbing Peter to pay Paul. Everyone now pays more to cover the cost of the few that take out a membership. $7.99 a month gets you 25% off, but only off that recently increased horrendous 89 pence, bringing that down to 67p, just about matches BP Pulse. When are EV drivers going to realise that Gridserve and BP and Shell and InstaVolt offer you exactly the same electricity from exactly the same source, but charge you anything up to nearly 4 times the going price? Baffles me. Often just stopping at a different motorway services can halve the price of charging. In towns and cities, there's usually no such excuse. There are plenty of alternatives. Well, next we find Osprey with an embarrassing recent increase to 87 pence everywhere. But that drops back to where it was last month at 82p if you use their app. Well, that sort of tells you exactly how much having your private details to sell on is worth to them and others. Well, great Kempower chargers, but an appalling price. In our travels, Osprey is the one that usually is totally, utterly deserted. Wonder why. Well, then we find a newcomer to be mentioned on the pricing guide, Allego, that we discovered on our recent Welsh trip in Shrewsbury. Yeah, I know it's in England, but only just, and we were coming from Welshpool. Just a couple of dual bay chargers, but Allego is a European CPO making inroads into the UK. It's going to struggle at their standard price of 84 pence per kilowatt hour. The charges are good, locations we visited were clean and tidy, but that price is going to put a major block on their expansion once EV drivers wise up and avoid anyone who's charging 80p and above. We're sharing our list of shame CPOs this month. We find Applegreen Electric. Last month it was 77, now it's 83. What's going on? Good chargers, but at that price I'm not surprised that every time we've visited one, it's been nearly empty of cars charging. Sorry to repeat myself, but EV drivers really need to wise up to EV charging prices. 83 pence here is the petrol equivalent of £1.82 a litre. Are you really happy paying that price? Really? Well, it's a good place to head if you're desperate because they're always empty. Well, from the extortioner, we head down a band to the just plain and simply overpriced but convenient. Between 12 and 21% cheaper than 89p. The petrol equivalent here is 153 to 175. Now, most people underestimate this drop. It's huge. Even down to 79p, it's 12% cheaper than 89. That's equivalent to selling petrol not at today's 135, but at 118. How far would you have travelled in your petrol days for that bargain? 70p is even more dramatic, the equivalent of petrol at your local supermarket today at 106 per litre. Need I say any more? And there are plenty of CPOs in the 70p range. Well, it's sad to say Shell, BP, Gridserve and InstaVolt all claim massive numbers of EVs, rapid and ultra-rapid, and form the bulk of the UK charging network despite their price of 89p. So, in relative terms, anything in the 70p range is seen by EV drivers as cheaper. Well, they are cheaper, but they are not cheap. In fact, they're still downright expensive. MFG with the bright blue colour scheme, good powerful chargers up to 400 kilowatts, tidy forecourt, reliable, 79p. But MFG have also done a deal with Morrison's, and if you're lucky, you'll find one of the new 50 kilowatt dual bay chargers, like we did at Morrison's in Preston Docks, as these are reduced to 69p nationwide. All other rapid or ultra rapids are 79p. Ionity have a maximum price of 79p, but that needs some justification, so I'm going to come back to them shortly. Mer is a newcomer to this channel. We've seen them before, but mainly in the AC fast chargers. Now they're into the big boys market with CCS2 and a price of 78p. Once again, it's much cheaper than the extortionate, but nothing to boast other than they're cheaper than most. Raw follows a very similar pattern. Newcomer, 77p, neat, good locations, and they take Electroverse, so you can get an additional small discount, we think. More on that a bit later. Well, Fastned 74p, but they have several massive advantages, so more on them a bit later as well. Evyve 75p, nice chargers, good locations, cheaper than the pack. And that leads us to the salvation of EV public charging overpricing, and this is Sainsbury's Smart Charge. Now, for years, supermarkets saw EV charging as a novelty and rented out a bit of their car parks to CPOs to install chargers, do their own thing. But recently, they've started to realise that EVs are here to stay. They represent a good percentage of the store customers, and those are also the good ones, demographically. EV owners have more money and spend more money, so they want them in their stores. Sainsbury's began the trend of seeing EV charging not only as a way to attract them into their stores, but to make a profit on the chargers. not by renting out bits of their car park, but by setting aside large areas of their car parks and buying and managing the chargers themselves. They've become their own CPO, and in doing so, they can set whatever price they choose and even sell at a loss if needed. Now, Sainsbury's has entered the market at 72p, so the bottom end of this pricing band. But that is not what is attractive. What is what happened in the late 60s, when the very first supermarket began selling petrol. At first, nothing much other than the oil giants like Shell, Esso and BP protesting, trying to get them banned for undercutting the market. Monopoly? But word today, can you buy the cheapest petrol? Say no more. Sainsbury's has opened up the floodgates, and the net result in time will be among the cheapest EV charging prices in the UK. Just not yet. Well, in the meantime, get a cheaper price than most and get nectar points. Every little helps. And just have patience, because other supermarkets do watch each other like hawks. They are all fighting for exactly the same customers, but particularly us rich ones. Now, chargers are heading to sensible territory, with prices now down in the 60p range, the equivalent in petrol prices of about 131 to 151 a litre. These prices are way down from the sky-high oil giants and profiteers 192 equivalent per litre, and into about the same as most petrol car drivers pay. No more, no less. And as new EVs hit the roads with even higher efficiency, that price equivalent on its own will just naturally drop. You can drive further on each kilowatt of power, lowering the cost. Well, this is why you will love one of a number of videos I've made on EV efficiency and getting the most out of your EV. Check out our playlist at the end of this video. Choosing a more efficient EV could alone reduce your motoring costs by up to half. Well, EV on the move and EV Point, these are strange ones, as the EV brand is used by Euro garages, that's EG, and that company is effectively split into two, run by two brothers. One prefers the original petrol courts, the other the new EV charging stations. The trouble is, some of those petrol forecourts already have chargers on them, and some of the EV chargers already have petrol pumps. So pricing's a bit wild depending on which you find and where you find it. So expect to find some at 69p, quite a few of them, most at 72, but others can be as high as 75. There's another new entrant in EON Drive, which we found in Burnley. Yeah, the E.ON that is a utility company and might provide you with your gas and electric. Great chargers, priced 69p, although when we filmed, it was actually on special offer. That reminds me, if you have a home utility company and they have public EV chargers, as here with E.ON, ask them what deals you can get. There is often something worth having. Westmorland Electric have featured on this channel many times as being the nicest and greenest services you'll ever find. Their chargers cost around 65p, some locations vary slightly. They're very fast, very powerful, mostly 300 kilowatt dual bay, very reliable. Great bacon and egg sandwich. Zest is another relatively new one. It uses BYD built chargers and is priced at 65p. The most popular chargers are almost identical to those used by InstaVolt, being 120 or 160 kilowatts. But watch out for these, because we recently saw new chargers with powers rated at 1 megawatt and 1.4 megawatt. These are out there already and they're being installed in the UK, but currently restricted to HGVs because they have the MCS connector, the megawatt charging system, not CCS. However, there are also variants that currently have 4 CCS2 connectors installed, each rated at 250 kilowatts. Well, the maximum charging speed on any new mass-produced EV is currently 350 kilowatts. Very few of them do that, but more will appear over the next few years, and it won't be long before the first EV with 1 megawatt of charging speed goes on sale. They have Zest have great town centre locations, ideally suited for those that can't charge at home. And the most recent find was PoGo Charging, where we found a truly bizarre situation. Down on Preston Docks is a site with 8 PoGo chargers, 6 of them 150 kilowatt, dual bay, CCS2, priced at 65p. So far so good, but in the middle were 2 smaller, slender chargers, single bay, that we thought would be fast chargers, but no, they too were DC and CCS2. But something I've never seen before, they were rated at 25 kilowatts. And even wilder, they're priced at 68 pence. Can anyone explain what's going on? But 65 pence is a good price to choose your charger. Okay, we're now heading down into the very, very lowest of tiers. We're running an EV on public charging. Is significantly cheaper than running a car on petrol. In petrol equivalent prices, we're looking at between 50 and 86 pence per litre at the pumps equivalent today. Yeah, they're out there. First off, Arnold Clark. Yeah, the new and used car dealer where you might have bought your own car. They're in the process of installing EV public chargers at most, if not all, of their branches. Many are already operational. Price is an amazing 55 pence per kilowatt hour, day and night, although you need to be aware of that night. See, many locations have very sturdy gates that close and lock at night after about 8 p.m. to protect their car stock, thereby blocking off the chargers. However, they're also in the process of installing ANPR, automatic number plate recognition. If you book a charger and enter your number plate, one of the very few that allows you to book a charger, by the way, this barrier will open for you. 55 pence is a great price, and these are Kempower chargers, which I thoroughly approve. This price is amazing. There's still more to come, even lower. AW Energy have their own commercial wind farm connected to their own EV charging station, but currently only operate in Leighton Buzzard, but charge to anyone who turns up is 39p. Simply amazing and totally green. The wind farm also has storage batteries for when the wind doesn't blow. How many more wind farms could get their own chargers? Well, Tesla now open most of their superchargers to all EVs with CCS2, and they have the largest network of ultra-rapid chargers in the UK waiting for you. There are several huge advantages here, like reliability. They do have the most reliable chargers in the world, or capacity. You'll find generally no fewer than 8 bays and up to 32 bays at each location. They're very rarely full. Or power. Most are now 250 kilowatts and each bay has its own power supply, so no power sharing. But the main attraction obviously is the price, which just this month has been hugely simplified. The vast majority of superchargers now operate a simple 2-tier arrangement, few exceptions. Peak commences at either 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, and off-peak goes from 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, and that right through to the following morning. Anyone turning up with a contactless card off-peak will pay no more than 35p right across the majority of the UK, and at peak times around 56p. Be aware that different prices occur at some specific sites, so look out for those because they are dearer, but they're also very rare. Well, these are incredible prices, and no, you don't need to get up at 2 a.m. Just turn up about 7 a.m. or 8 p.m. and enjoy stupidly cheap prices. Now, for us Tesla drivers, we get even lower prices as part of our package, and those prices range from 23p off-peak to 40p peak. It's really crazy. 23 at a public charger is equivalent in petrol terms to your local petrol station selling petrol at 50p a litre. Well, also you need to look out for the Oddballs and membership. So Oddballs first. First Bus Caledonia Depot in Glasgow has a massive array of powerful EV chargers for their bus fleet to charge overnight, but they now open them up to the public during the day. Restricted hours, but the price is a simple 39 pence per kilowatt hour. Well worth a few mile drive within Glasgow for that price. And these Oddballs are going to become more permanent features in the future. So to memberships, back to Fastned and Ionity, but let's introduce BE.EV. Let's start there. BE.EV is a northern-based CPO, recently opened the Oasis in Manchester with an amazing offer of 50 pence overnight, and in an interview with the CEO, he said he wasn't sure about how long he could keep that going. Wow, was he right? Because they now have a simply amazing offer, but it's complicated. So here's the simple version. Get the BE.EV app. Whatever else you do, get the app, it's free. Then charge at any ultra rapid for just 69 pence per day, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m, but 39p after that. Yeah, 39p. If you can't charge during off-peak, then there's a mini membership, $4.99 a month, and all your daytime sessions are now 49p, not 69. But you can go the whole hog and pay $9.99, and then everything's 39p. All day, all night, full stop. Now, the exception is Oasis in Manchester. That's got its own pricing structure, which appears to be 49p all day at the moment, 39p all night, no membership needed. Well, definitely check this one out, but at peak times, they do get busy. Still, there's a very nice Caffè Nero right there. Get back to Ionity. 79p I quoted earlier is for turning up and charging. They do have a free app that reduces that to 75p. So if you're going to use them, get it. But then they have two tremendous membership offers. The first, £5.49 a month, reduced to £54.99 a year, effectively 2 months free. And all your sessions that month will cost 53p. Simple. But for regular users, they offer a £10.50 deal. That's £105 a year, again 2 months free. And then 43 pence a session. Now, I ask you, if your local petrol station offered petrol at almost half price for a tenner a month, how long would that queue be? In plain English, if you charge it at Ionity twice a month, then become a member. It's an absolute no-brainer. They also offer a simplified charging system, plug and charge, but it is very limited, but haphazard at the moment, and not all cars can use it. So we're going to be featuring that in an upcoming video, so subscribe so you don't miss that one. Now, Fastned offers auto charge, which applies to almost all EVs and means you can drive in, plug in, just walk away. That's it. No apps, no contactless, no RFID. You drive, plug in, walk away. When full, you unplug, drive off, no paying. Well, it's done automatically. It's a dream to use. Plus, they offer a membership for £9.99 a month, which drops prices by 30%. Again, charged twice a month here. Absolute no-brainer. Tesla also offers a £9.99 a month and an annual discount as well. Prices drop down to the lowest level that we Tesla owners get. Again, if you charge twice a month or more, it could be for you. Now, all these memberships are pay or cancel each month. If you've always charged at home, for example, you're going on a road trip through Europe, then join, get the discounted charging for your holiday and the rest of that month, and just don't renew at the end of the month. Get back to Electroverse. The cards are available to all, whether or not you have an Octopus account for your home. They're free. It acts as an RFID card, so no pre-authorization fee, and they offer discounts on most CPOs. Also, if you do have Octopus at home, then you can transfer the cost of each charging session to your home, and it's to your home utility account, which you pay off monthly in the normal way. Did I say the card was free? Okay, finished. And if you're still watching, and you haven't yet subscribed, thank you for watching, but please do so right now. Also, please consider supporting the channel with a membership. There are lots of benefits, and it starts from under £2 a month. I'm Dave.